Have you ever added gamification to your membership only to find that it didn't really move the needle? Or worse, it stopped working after the first few weeks? Here's the thing, gamification might boost engagement at first, but if it's not tied to what truly motivates your members, it could actually be doing more harm than good. I'm going to tell you why gamification often fails to create long term engagement in memberships, and then tell you how to motivate your members to drive lasting success. My name is Shana, and I've helped my clients add 3.4 million in annual recurring revenue from their existing customers. So let's talk about why gamification might actually be holding your membership back, and then I'm going to share with you some actionable strategies that you can use to keep your members engaged and coming back for more. First, let's get on the same page. Gamification means using external rewards like points, badges, and leaderboards to encourage action. It's popular in memberships because it's fun to create, it's easy to track, and it's included in a lot of platforms, so you feel like you need to use it. There are a lot of reasons, though, that gamification doesn't actually work. First, gamification stops internal motivation. If you're relying too heavily on gamification, it can lead to what researchers call the over-justification effect. Basically, that's a big fancy way to say external rewards are reducing your members' internal motivation over time. When you reward people for actions that they already enjoy or that they find meaningful, the reward can actually undermine their intrinsic motivation. So instead of engaging because they want to, they start only engaging for the reward, which means you have to get better at rewarding them. This is especially true for tasks requiring creativity, self-direction, or deeper emotional investment. Think about it this way. When someone joins your membership, it's not because they're going to get points for the actions they complete. It's because you've done an effective job motivating them toward the promise of your membership. They desire to do the work to achieve the outcome. Then once they get in, instead of continuing to tap into that internal motivation centered on their goals or their purpose, we resort to points and reward systems because that feels easier. But over time, the desire to take action fades as the gamification no longer feels challenging or new and exciting. There are multiple studies that prove this. Many of them are referenced in a great book that I love called Drive by Daniel Pink. Basically, what it says is that before receiving rewards, children or participants in various studies were highly motivated because they actually enjoyed the activity itself. So then they introduced rewards into the study. And after the rewards were introduced for the same activity, their motivation shifted to earning the reward rather than enjoying the task. So once the reward was removed, their interest and effort decreased significantly compared to those who were never offered a reward in the first place. Here's the bottom line. When people are offered a reward for doing something they already find inherently enjoyable or meaningful, their internal motivation is often replaced by the expectation of the reward. Problem number 2, short-term engagement. Gamification creates a temporary burst of excitement. But then the novelty, the newness, it wears off, and members stop caring about points or badges once they're no longer new or challenging or fun and exciting. Problem number 3, engagement burnout. For some members, gamification can actually feel really overwhelming or unnecessarily competitive, especially if they're falling behind on the leaderboards or just in your program in general. This actually has the opposite effect and can be pretty demotivating to your members. There's also a major problem with gamification design in most courses and memberships, and that's that they focus on surface level actions, which is actually problem number 4. People want you to just do rewards and points for things like logging in, commenting on a post, or maybe watching a video, rather than deeper engagement that actually leads to progress and long-term retention. The actions being rewarded aren't actually tied to the core cause or purpose of the membership, the members' goals, or the progress, which is why they joined the community in the first place. I talk about this in another video about how to do gamification right, which I'll make sure to link below. So if gamification doesn't work to motivate members, how do we actually help our members make progress? Effective motivation requires a few things, as talked about in the book Drive. The first one is purpose. I am working towards something meaningful. In my community cultivated framework, I call this the cause. It's all about getting clear on the reason people join your membership. It's their why. And getting tapped into this is going to require more work than a 5-minute avatar worksheet and some course you took. You're really going to need to understand the value you bring to the table, the progress people will make when they work with you, and what that progress will make possible in their life. Many of us are really good at communicating this in our marketing. Then someone buys. They join our membership and we stop selling. We stop talking about the why, about the purpose, about the outcome. I say this all the time, but you should never stop selling to your members because selling is simply building belief and motivating people toward action. You need to continually be pointing to their purpose or the cause throughout your member journey map. P.S. If you don't know what a member journey map is, I explain it in my free Retain Guide. Just go to retainguide.com. It's also linked below. All right, second thing we need to have good motivation in our memberships is mastery. I can recognize my progress and see a path towards success. And there's two key elements at play here. Do your members know what to do to make progress? You need a very clear success path, as my friend Stu calls it. Basically, a path guiding people from where they are to where they want to be. And the more personalized this is, the better. So you have the path, but then are you actually helping them recognize and celebrate their progress? Your community initiatives and member journey map should be spotlighting their progress every step of the way. I talk about and explain this in the progress wheel framework that I have, and I'm going to link to that below as well. All right, third thing that we need is autonomy. I am responsible for my progress and have a choice in how I get there. A one-size-fits-all approach doesn't work well for memberships anymore. Members want to feel that the journey is personalized to them and actually have a choice in how they participate. This is why having multiple content mediums and deliverables that support your members is really essential. We have to recognize that everyone learns differently and not shame people for not showing up in the ways that we want them to. Here's a perfect example. A lot of my clients have lurkers in their community. In fact, one of my clients was at an in-person event when somebody came out and said they made $1 million in a program and they had never even seen them post in the community. Sometimes those in the background are our hardest workers. So you can't assume that there's one way to experience success inside of your program. In my Retain program for membership owners and their retention and community leaders, I have a lot of people who never show up to the group calls, but they're in the background implementing the templates I've given them and absolutely nailing their member journey maps. Gamification might sound like the easy answer, but if you're looking for real, lasting engagement in your membership, you really need to focus on intrinsic motivation by weaving purpose, mastery, and autonomy throughout your entire member experience. To learn more ways to keep members engaged and reduce your churn, subscribe for more content like this, and then get my free guide at retainguide.com.